Tell everybody you broke your collarbone so people don't think that you're walking funny.
Yes, I broke my collarbone on Sunday of all days, thinking I'm a NASCAR driver.
You have to help me through all this.
Okay.
October 2004, we were at the fall race, and we left to go out of the tunnel. My wife and I, we jumped on the golf cart, and I was sitting in the front, Chrissy was sitting in the back. And Roxanne runs up and hands a folded up piece of paper to Chrissy, right?
Yeah.
Interrupt me if I'm wrong. And hands this piece of paper to Chrissy. Chrissy opens up the piece of paper, starts reading it, tells our golf cart driver, our bus driver, to turn around and go back and find her. I believe this is Friday, because on Saturday, after reading your letter and you made my wife cry, they came over to your house and helped you with your animal problem, which was a dog problem. And basically what Roxanne and her family was in was a situation where they had more dogs than they could take care of, and needed to basically figure out how to feed them and spay and neuter them. So on Saturday, my wife and a couple of our employees went over to their place and took care of the animals, and then 15 you had, 13 of them got adopted out. You kept 2, right? Doing good so far.
Yeah, you're doing good.
And but the moral of the story was it was inspiration for our foundation. So in our foundation in 2005, when we started it, was because of Roxanne and her family's situation. It made us realize that there are people out there that either multiple reasons. They either don't understand, can't take care of, or situations that are beyond their control to be able to help control the animal population. The last thing we want to do is euthanize man's best friend. And controlling the population through adoption and spaying and neutering is our ultimate goal. So Roxanne opened our eyes not just to Virginia, but to basically all of the South, who has much more of an issue with overpopulation of animals than the North. A lot of that due to climate, some of it due to the environment. So go ahead and say something.
Well, after they helped me, I was able to get a job at my local shelter. And I noticed it wasn't just me, it was our whole community. It wasn't just ignorance, it was people couldn't afford to get their animals spayed or neutered or vaccinated. Within time, we got a program going where you could get low-cost spay neuter. Just last year, we got a brand new shelter, and now we're offering low-cost spay neuter, and we're able to get animals vaccinated, spayed, neutered, and adopted out the right way. So nobody is in my situation, like my family, wanting to take care of an animal but not properly able to. So things like that, with Ryan and Kristen helping me, I was able to get a job to help other people in my community, and it kind of just created a ripple effect.
And the dogs thank us.
And the dogs love you.
Yes. I happen to be a dog person, I have to admit. So when I say dogs, I'm speaking dogs and cats, but I'm much more of a dog person than a cat person.
What's your last name?
Davis.
Can you say that one more time?
Davis.
The story, because we couldn't hear you.
Oh, the story?
Yeah.
Okay, where do you need me to start from?
The very beginning, Roxanne.
The very beginning? Okay, after Ryan and Creasy helped me, I got a job at the local veterinarian that ran the dog pound, which you could call. From there, we were able to develop like a low-cost spay neuter transport to Greensboro for the animals in our county. Last year, we were able to open our brand new animal shelter where I'm able to work now. We're able to get animals spayed, neutered, vaccinated, and adopted out the right way, so no one is in the situation like me and my family was in with my dog. And through that, I thank Ron and Chrissy. They gave me that opportunity to save my animals so I can help save others.
Questions, guys? Pass the mic around, please.
All right. My question would be, because we cover Rockingham County, what's the actual name of the animal shelter?
It's Rockingham County Animal Shelter, and it's located in Whitworth.
And it's brand new, right?
It's brand new, opened last year.
Any more questions about today's SPCA visit? Over here, Kip.
Ryan, you said the South is sort of a hotbed for this type of issue. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
A big part of it is just the climate. You know, the animals have a much easier time reproducing in the South because it's warmer. They can just keep doing their thing. And there's other parts of it that, and my wife's gonna elaborate on this much more educational than I can. But the South has a different perspective when it comes to hunting dogs and things like that. So there are many people that prefer not to spay or neuter their pets because they think that it changes their mentality, changes the way they work, changes the things that they do. So we actually, and the SPCA here sends a lot of animals up to the North Shore Animal League up in Long Island, and we actually have taken dogs with us up to New Hampshire on the jets just to be able to find them homes from the South. And I know a few years ago that North Carolina ranked 5th for overpopulation of animals of all the 50 states, and I'm not sure where that's at now, but it just tells you we're not 49th. So the main goal is to raise awareness through spaying and neutering, and educating people about how they can adopt a pet. And so many people think that, well, what can we do to help out? Maybe we don't have money so that we can go out and basically, my point is, go walk a dog, go help your shelter, go volunteer, keep those dogs alive in their shelters. The shelter here is a no-kill animal shelter. Not all of them are. So we have to do our job as humans to help control that overpopulation. We have animals that love us unconditionally. It's our job to go back and help them out and control a situation that they can.
Charles?
Can you tell us about your experience today at the SPCA and what did you think?
Well, I've been through several different shelters, and they have a great facility there, run by great people. Really saw a cool skit, their Paw Pet show that they did that was really fun, educational, and cool and amazing for them to put something together like that. And just to see the quantity as well as the quality of animals that they have there, and that's in due in part to their volunteers and the people that help them to control what they have going on there. So it's fun for me to get to see the dogs. I mean, a perfect world is, they have 1 or 2 dogs there, but they've got more. So there are great animals there for them to adopt. And I want people to understand that if you think that you have to have that specific breed is there for you. There are dogs there that will unconditionally love you no matter what the breed. But if you're looking for a Mastiff, if you're looking for a Shar-Pei, if you're looking for a full-blooded lab, they are there, they come through. And most people don't realize you can go to petfinder.com, and that petfinder.com links you to all your local, you do a 25, 35, 50-mile radius, and links you to all the shelters in your area and what you can try to find. And I'm really proud of the way that, and it's a much newer procedure, but the way the screening process is of the shelters, so that they make sure that the animals get adopted to a strong and happy family home, so that the animal doesn't come back to them in 3 or 4 weeks and they have to go through the whole situation all over again.
What did you think of that song, Neutered and I Know It?
I thought it was very clever, and it's a catchy song, but I don't want to go around singing it because I don't want people
Ready to talk some racing, guys?
Oh,
And
hang on.
what? One more, Ashley.
All right. How many dogs or animals do you personally have?
Well, we have, right now we have 5 dogs. We had 6 at one point, and we have fostered litters of puppies, and we've actually got our dog lot, and we've got a little place behind our building where there's a little section we built just for fostering animals at our house. But our 5 dogs are all rescue animals. They live in the house and sometimes sleep in the bed, depending on whose feet they get by. But we have cows, we have chickens, we raise, we're licensed with the state of North Carolina to rehab fawns. So very much an animal lover, a hunter at the same time, so I want people to understand that, but very much an animal lover. And when it comes to dogs and cats, like I said, I'm a dog man.
Has this been something you've always had a passion for ever since you were young, helping animals?
I've always had a dog my entire life, with the exception of probably 1 year. And it's funny because when I met Chrissy, my wife, she had a dog, and I didn't have a dog at the time. So I always tell people when I met Digger, I met Chrissy, because Digger was her dog at the time. But just really love, the fact that you can go home after a rough day's work or a good day's work and see somebody that unconditionally loves you and you know, wants to be there to either lick your face or eat off your plate, depending on how you treat them.
Ashley?
Yeah, what are some other ways that your foundation helps with animal welfare?
Our foundation, we have a foundation dinner as well as a fishing tournament every year to raise funding for our foundation, the Ryan Newman Foundation. We have a book called Pit Road Pets. You can find it at pitroadpets.com. We've actually have 2 books, our first and second edition. And we have a stuffed animal grouping of our dogs, of the 6 dogs that we originally had, called the Pup Crew. And those are also available at Pit Road Pets or RyanNewmanFoundation.org, right? And those are just tools for making people aware of the situation and raising funding so that we can help contribute. Our foundation gives out several grants a year to animal shelters and doing what we can to try to help control that overpopulation.
Kip?
Ryan, can you tell me a little bit about the victory you picked up out west in Utah? I think you just nosed out somebody on a golf cart.
Oh yeah, we were at, I thought you stuck my finger, I crashed a snowmobile in Utah. We had a, yeah, thanks buddy. My pilot back there stopped in the middle of the road in front of me. We went to Best Friends, which is an animal welfare group out in Utah. It's in Kanab, Utah, which is literally in the middle of nowhere. If you think there's places in Virginia that are in the middle of nowhere, you go to Kanab, Utah, and you have hit middle of nowhere. And they have a great facility with a lot of great people and volunteers. They gained a lot of awareness because they were the group that took in, I believe it was 22 of Michael Vick's dogs when he was in his situation with the dog fighting. And we got to see Lucas, who was his prized dog, who is, I think, 11 years old now, but totally will come up and lick you in the face, and a very loving dog. And it just goes to show you what people can do to affect a dog's life. But our situation was just go to learn. We're in the process of building a facility in North Carolina, in Statesville, called Rescue Ranch, and that facility is going to be similar to what they do there, as well as what they do at the Helen Woodward Animal Center in San Diego, which is basically education, animal welfare, boarding, and what all the things, all aspects of animals, not just dogs and cats, but horses, cows, whatever you name it, hamsters, gerbils, I mean pigs, any kind of animal, what we can do to help control and be there for those animals.
Yeah, Ryan, you're here on your day off, promoting this message. Why do you do this?
You know, it's great for our sport. It's great for our fans. It's you know, it's a place that I enjoy racing, and you know, I was commenting on the way in here. I've never had a hot dog. Maybe I should. Maybe that'll get me in victory lane. But you know, it's what we do as drivers. I mean, it's important with the economy and all the things that are going on to reach out and make a special effort to get fans engaged, and you don't have to like me as a driver, you don't have to like me for what I do, but enjoy our sport. It's a great family sport.
Ken?
Talk about trying to get into victory lane here. In years past, you have not fared so well here, but the last few years you've slowly improved. What has been the change, and what can you still do to improve better and get in victory lane here at Martinsville Speedway?
They finally got my brakes cooled down. No, and in all seriousness, we struggled with the brake package there for a little while, and I struggled learning how to drive this racetrack. And once we got those 2 things figured out, both at Penske and at Stewart-Haas, we've been in pretty good shape. So, you know, we've been really strong here on Fridays, and on our Sundays have gotten better. We failed a rear gear here in a race we probably should have won, and we failed an exhaust pipe actually in last year's spring race, in a race we should have won. So we feel like if it means anything, the track owes us a couple, but that doesn't mean anything when everybody shows up in here on Sunday.
How special would it be for you to bring home one of those clocks?
Very special, because we built a big old log cabin, and that was one of the places we left open. And this is back in 2007, and I still haven't filled that void on the wall or on the floor, depending on how you look at it. So I'm ready. It doesn't have to be that one, just one would be fine.
Yeah, Ryan, Bristol's this weekend. How do you feel going into some of the short tracks over the next month?
You know, you look at the stats for me, our team with a 39 car, we're really good on short tracks. We're really good on flat tracks. So I look forward to it. You know, and as well, California, we've done well there in the past. So you know, this next string of races is something I look forward to. And Bristol is, you know, it's kind of the the fourth leg of the first 4 races in the fact that, you know, we've gone to a super speedway, we've gone to a short track, and a flat track like Phoenix, and you go to an intermediate track, and then you top it all off with Bristol. It kind of, you know, gets an idea for us as a team and as an organization as to what we need to work on for the season. So if we can have a good Bristol, I think that we'll be in good shape for the rest of the year.
Ken,
Martinsville hosts a pretty big local racing event later on in the year. Various other drivers do a lot of racing on their off time, you know, dirt tracks, sprint races, whatever. How much racing do you do when you're not cup racing?
Not a lot. I mean, I've had the opportunity, thankfully, with my contract to do the Prelude with Stewart, so that's something that we all look forward to, whoever gets to go up there and do that. But I'll do a couple Silver Crown races and then the modified wheel and modified races at Loudon and Bristol, and that's typically it for me.
Charles.
When you get ready for Martinsville, what do you think, and when you get on that track, what are you thinking about?
Just who's around you, what to expect for the start of the race, how good your car is, what you need to work on. You know, Goodyear kind of threw us for a little loop here last fall when we had a different tire, and it grained really bad, and then in the race it cleaned right up. So, you know, just going through situations like that, trying to figure out what the balance of the car is going to be at the start of the run and the end of the run, and you know, what your competition is. Sometimes your competition is more yourself than it is anybody else.
What does this track take from a driver's point of view when you're in the car? I mean, you obviously have to keep a level head. I mean, you know, what do you have to kind of go through when you're out there?
Martinsville is very much a finesse racetrack. I mean, from a braking standpoint, yes, but you know, the acceleration part of it too. You can really chew your tires up on the concrete before you get to the asphalt, getting back to the gas. And you have to get back to the gas, but how you do it makes a big difference in how good your car is for a whole fuel run. And you don't. I mean, a fuel run here is roughly 110, 120 laps, and you only get 3 or 4 times to do that. So tires are important, but if the track goes green for a long time, you can get a lap down by not managing your race car.
How physical is it here, Ryan?
It's more physical body-wise on the racetrack than it is physical inside the car. The sorest part of my body after a race in Martinsville typically is my left leg.
From braking?
Braking, just straight up braking. Yeah, just, I mean, it's not like your passenger car doesn't have power brakes. It's when you get it stopped, it's because your leg pushed it stopped.
Ron?
You say you like coming here. What is it about this track? And there's a lot of other drivers who don't like it at the beginning, but after they learn how to get around it, like it. Your team owner and your teammate went through that. What is it about this track you like?
Well, we've got a good setup with it at Stewart Haas. I enjoy the simplicity of the track. I enjoy the fact that you have to do the braking. Tracks that you go to that you don't have to brake just means that anybody can be closer to driving it. It requires less skill. And the tracks where you operate that third pedal, it makes a big difference when it comes to driver ability. And I think that's why some people don't enjoy it at first. I didn't enjoy it at first. It was a big challenge, and it's as simple as it is to just hit the brake pedal. It's pretty complex when it comes to doing it right.
Steve?
Fuel injection has of course entered the picture this year, and it's caused some issues with the previous races. Do you see that the cars are driving different with the fuel injection, and do you see that there's going to be any big difference at the short track like Martinsville with that fuel injection setup?
Performance-wise, I don't see any difference in the driver's seat, the way the carburetor works versus where the EFI worked. When you get to the gas, if everything works right, it works right, whether the carburetor's tuned right or the EFI is tuned right. The difference is the EFI, we have data on it, we can be a little bit different when it comes to the precision of it and controlling the parameters of what it controls. So, you know, it's thrown, I think, a couple teams for a loop. Obviously, the Penske guys out in Vegas, and then in Tony's situation with the ECU at Phoenix. So, you know, that's a part of every change is going through those little hiccups and bumps. But you know, fortunately, it hasn't affected us directly with the 39 car, and hopefully, it doesn't have any adverse effects when you get to a place like Martinsville. We tested it here in Martinsville, you know, last fall with the EFI, and everything was fine.
Damien?
Right, I'll piggyback off the question about the EFI with Bristol. You think it's going to be different with the higher banking corners, more speed, that you might run into a problem like you say you would in an intermediate track with just the speeds compared to what you would at Martinsville with the lower speeds through the center of the corners?
I don't think so. I think what you see for loads and vertical forces and lateral forces at Bristol, we had very similar at Daytona as well as Vegas. You know, when it comes to fuel pickups and you know, the electrical part of the entire process with the fuel pumps and things like that, I don't think we'll have any issues.
Ed?
Ryan, what do you make of the qualifying here on Saturday? I know last year you didn't seem to be too keen on that. Has that changed this year? Is that something that just takes getting used to as a driver with the schedule and different since qualifying for so long was typically a Friday thing?
I enjoy it much more when it's a Friday, and it will be in Bristol, but you know, for me, it fits my driving and a lot of guys driving. You know, you work in race trim, you switch over to qualifying trim, you get the car right, you go back, you run through the tech house, you come back out, and you lay down your lap, and then you can go work on the race trim. It just seems like it's a lot of extra work and a lot of extra effort for all the guys to do, you know, race trim, qualifying trim, and then go back to race trim, and it's just like and then you qualify, and you come, and everybody has to come and show up and run the cars through the house to run 1 or 2 laps on a given Saturday, and to me, it's an inefficient use of time, but it is what it is, and there's still going to be a pole winner, there's still going to be a race winner.
Yeah.
Ryan, you said that you've had to work on your brake packages and things like that. What do you feel like you, as a driver, still need to work on to get around Martinsville better?
Nothing.
Good answer.
That's a good stopping point for this session.
Seriously, I wasn't being serious.
Yeah.